first time you met Manny, you were like, okay, like I want to get bitten by a rattlesnake. Manny says you can't do that.
Right.
And you're like really pushing for it. No, like just let the rattlesnake bite me. And we learned that when Manny says no, like that means fucking no.
Yeah. If Manny's sketchy about it, then it's like, all right.
Because when Manny says yes, that doesn't necessarily mean you're good.
What was that when you were before the you were hanging out over the alligator pit, and what was his safety plan?
He says if an alligator gets a hold of Steve-O, Steve-O will relax. And hopefully the alligator will release him. He's so great. I remember like it might have been the first time I ever filmed with Manny when we went out to do the hammerhead thing. It was the first day with sharks and Manny, and they chopped barracuda in half and strung them all up and like bloody and just. I chopped up barracuda fish strapped all over me, and then Manny put me in the water with the sharks.
Chummed you.
Yeah, and I remember my dad saw it, and my dad says, "How could it possibly be safe to be covered in chum swimming with sharks?" And I looked at Dad like, Dad, Manny was there. God. Oh my.
Get off my case.
Yeah, fuck. Manny's like my little force field.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Gary LeFew with the bull.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel that way about Manny too. He's
Right.
he's Tarzan.
Right.
And you do feel, even though you're doing something fucked, you do feel like somewhat safe just because he's there.
Mm-hmm.
And the same way with Gary LeFew with bulls.
For sure.
I just always feel like he's always got my back, and he always has. He hires the best bullfighters because they're crucial. Because if you get KO'd and you're alone in the ring with the bull, it could be even worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. There was a time where, everyone's going to know this with Manny, where we put the fish hook through my face and cast me out to the sharks. Manny's chopping up he's just chumming the water, treading water, hacking up fish, and he sees this mako shark going after me like it's going to bite my foot. And one of the very few times Manny ever became uncomfortable while filming, like I heard he screams, "Steve-O, watch out!" Right? And I hear that, and so I'm like, fuck, I panic and I go to kick and to go swim away. And in that motion, I inadvertently kick the mako shark in the head as it's going for my foot.
Yeah.
Which was like arguably one of the closest calls I've ever had.
Yeah.
And I think it was like years later, I asked Jeff Tremaine. I said, Jeff, dude, if that mako shark bit my foot, we were 2 hours away from the coast of Hurricane Katrina devastated Louisiana. Like, what the fuck was the plan? Like a helicopter? I mean, like, what? And Tremaine said, "Oh, we didn't have a plan. We got God." Like, how do you explain how lucky we've been?
I was in Arkansas getting ready to do the riot control test, and I was talking to Jeff and talking about casting you out to sea with the hook through your mouth, chummed up waters with sharks. And I was like, Jeff, what is the what's the best case scenario of this? Because how's it going to, I mean, if we get footage, that means something terrible's happened. And how do we air that? Like, what are we going for here? And he's like, oh, no, it'll be great. I'm like, I really had questions about that. So it was one of those things where it couldn't have went any better. Like, you didn't get hurt, but you almost got annihilated. You almost were missing a foot. Right.
I mean, it's great, Jeff. You've explained the beginning and the middle, but...
Yeah. the end, there's only one way for this to end, for it to air, right? I remember being troubled by that bit. But I wasn't so troubled that I said don't do it, but I remember being. I did have pause. I was thinking of you, Steve-O.
Pause.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing with the alligator tightrope. As I understood it, my job for the alligator tightrope, I was like, oh yeah, and then tomorrow I'm getting bit by an alligator. Like I'm gonna walk on the tightrope, fall off, and then in the alligator pit, and then I get bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was another one. I remember feeling like not getting bit by the alligator and it just taking the chicken out of the jockstrap. To me, it like felt the way you described getting on a so-so bull. I was like, oh man, like, you know, I've lost my respect. I showed up to get attacked by an alligator.
No, but that was great. You didn't.
Yeah,
Because you could have.
Yeah.
You very well could have, and you stuck it out, and you did all you needed to do.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that's a great bit.
Yeah, and in hindsight, I'm not upset about it, but I remember thinking, oh, I really got away with one today.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some of the other like just crazy like where we've got angels? I think about Jackass and I really believe that we've got like
the rocket for
the rocket.
Knoxville.
Yeah,
Rocket.
it not only almost killed me, but one rocket goes out back like 150 yards and goes right between Kasich and Scott Manning's ear. It was just shut, and that would have decapitated one of them or both of them. It was a foot-long metal rod. That was an angel. The steel wall falling on me at the end of Jackass number 2.
Right.
Because the guy who rigged it is like, you get to your mark, don't move. This is a steel wall. You will die if it hits you. And then what happened
that's like Travis Pastrana telling you not to let go of the bike.
I'm not listening. Like before I do a stunt, I don't. Sometimes you can be talking to me, but you can see in my eyes that I'm far away.
Wow.
You know.
I remember seeing the wall hit you, thinking like that was the bit. You know, like
No, that wasn't supposed to happen.
wow.
And I remember on the set, I'd had my daughter come down because I thought this is like no one's going to get hurt today. It's pretty casual. And then at that steel wall slammed me and it goes silent on the set except for Madison. She goes, "Dad, what are you doing, you idiot?" And then everyone started laughing after that because, you know, I moved around a little. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And the golf cart with
That was almost real bad.
yeah. That was. I feel like for years after that, the golf cart was referred to as the incident or something.
The incident?
Yeah, like that because that one was really really scary. But yeah, we've been incredibly fortunate, man.
We've had a lot of incidents.
Yeah, dude.